Hey guys, welcome to another lesson. Today we'll be talking about Phylum Arthropoda, which is under Kingdom Animalia. Now this phylum is the largest group in the animal kingdom. The organisms found here, they have a distinct head with a complex muscular system. Now we can divide this phylum into 4 major classes. So this phylum can still be separated into 4 different classes. One is class Crustacea, the crustaceans. And examples of organisms found under this class include crabs, the prawns, lobsters, and the list goes on. The next class is the class Insecta. This includes all insects, like the termites, the ants, the grasshoppers, bees. They are insects we see all around us, so they are under the class Insecta. Another one is class Arachnida. This includes the arachnids. Examples are the spider, scorpions, mites, ticks, the mites, the ticks, and so on and so forth. Another class under Phylum Arthropoda is class Myriapoda. This includes the centipedes and the millipedes. Now, the general characteristics of the organisms or the animals found under Phylum Arthropoda. One is that they have segmented bodies, which means their bodies are separated into segments. Also, they have hard, rigid exoskeleton made up of chitin. So they have an exoskeleton, which means what we mean by exoskeletons, the skeleton is found outside. And that skeleton is made up of chitin. Chitin is an exoskeletal material. Another characteristic is that they have jointed appendages or jointed legs, which are used for feeding, movement, reproduction, or sensory, or they are used as sensory organs. So they have jointed appendages, or they say jointed limbs, or jointed legs. So they have those parts joined, and those parts could be used for movement. They could be used for feeding. They could be used for reproduction, or they could also be used as sensory organs. Another characteristic of the Phylum Arthropoda is molting, and this molting is called ecdysis. Ecdysis. Now this ecdysis is simply the shedding of the exoskeleton of the arthropods or these animals at intervals to permit growth. So these animals shed their exoskeleton at intervals. The process is called ecdysis, and this is to permit growth of the animals. Now, the bodies of these organisms are separated into these 2 or 3 segments. The 2 or 3 could be head, thorax, and abdomen. So it could be fused together in some members. It will be separate. So these 3 segments, head, thorax, and abdomen, or 2 in some other arthropods, are the way the bodies of arthropods are divided. The body symmetry of the arthropods is bilateral body symmetry, which means that body can be divided along one plane to give 2 equal or identical halves. Another characteristic is that they are triploblastic animals, which means they have 3 germ layers: the ectoderm, the mesoderm, and the endoderm. Another characteristic is that they have various means of respiration. For example, they have gills. Some make use of gills for respiration. Some make use of trachea. Some make use of lung book. Some make use of their body surface for respiration. So that's the end of today's lesson. Next videos we'll be discussing the other phyla under Kingdom Animalia. See you next class.